Howdy folks, TJ here. Another Next Kickstarter update for the Next Kickstarter number 2 has arisen, and it's time to chat about it a little bit. And I thought I would actually today set up my Mac Pro and just actually go to the website and have you peruse along with me as I look through it. I haven't read it yet. Thanks to my buddy Mr. Wayne, Retro King of the World. He has a great channel, by the way. You should definitely visit it, and I'll put a link down below. He had actually said, hey, have you seen the new Next update? Kind of reminding good old TJ. Old is an easy word to add, old, because I forget things. He said, check it out, it's a good update. So, let's check it out. Thanks, Mr. Wayne Robbins. Retro Robbins. So, ZXSpectrum Next, the Kickstarter website. Let's go down, and we are up to update number 21. And it's dated August 27th. What the hell's today? Today's 28th. So this dropped yesterday. The latest on the project, and a shout for a 40 best machine code routines book. Cool. So Mr. Henrique, here we are with another update on the project. Hardware-wise and production, there's not much to talk about. We're on a waiting pattern to get the Xilinx, X-Links, Arctix 7 FPGA chips delivered, counting the weeks until we can start assembling your machines. So, as promised, he says, we'll keep reminding the backers of the estimated shipping date. We're still on the same target of Q3 23. If there's any news, if we manage to accelerate the lead time for the ordered FPGA, will he immediately let us know, basically. So, on we go. Onwards. 40 best machine code routines for the ZXSpectrum. A shout. What is this? There are just a few hours to go for the book Kickstarter. Okay, so I'm not familiar with this. So there's a Kickstarter for a book. Make sure you back the project, which is already fully funded. Cool. In order to secure your copy of what's likely one of the best books for anyone coding for the Speccy, reprinted from its original 1983 release and featuring new content, including some code snippets from Mr. Jim Bagley. So 40 best machine code routines for the ZXSpectrum with explanatory text, second edition. So cool. I was not aware of this. I may have seen it, but it fell off my radar. My radar is really small, and I often forget things like, what am I doing right now? I don't know. I think I'm making a video. So yeah. Written by John Hardiman and Andrew Hewson, it's packed with tips and tricks on how to squeeze the most out of the Z80 and ULA. So just 8 hours to go. So if it was just 8 hours to go, it's over. Because I think this is the next day. So anyway, there's a link here. Hopefully you got a copy of this coming to you. Next up, King of Anglers. Now, I've seen this, and I am an angler. I like fishing. You know why they call it angling? Because of the angle. You've got a rod, and you've got a line that's shooting down, and you got an angle. You got an angle, right? Does that make sense? So that's why you call it anglers. And I'm a tenkara angler, which is a Japanese method of fly fishing that uses no reel, very long telescopic fly rods. And I work for a company that makes them, so that's why I'm into it. So, I don't think they have tenkara here. They should. It looks like it's maybe a bobber fishing. And what man and woman doesn't like a damn good bobber? I mean, bobbers are bitching. It's sitting there going, boom, floating on the water, and all of a sudden, you see it go down underwater, and what's your expression on your face? Just like that, because you know there's something on that freaking line. It could be a guppy, it could be a trout, it could be a carp, it could be a log that just happened to grab your line. It could be anything, but reel it in. You like the idea of fishing, but can't be bothered to deal with the traveling, mosquitoes, and lures? I liked all those things, so I'm cool with that stuff. And I don't use lures, I use flies, but that's okay. Well, you're in luck, because the Sun Team, Suntm, Suntm, has released King of Anglers exclusively for the Spectrum Next. Travel to beautiful lakes, basking on sunset thanks to Next awesome graphic modes. Get hooked and download the game right away. So this is an itch.io for the site. So cool. King of Anglers. I'm going to have to check that out. Golden Seas update. I'm familiar with this. Looks like one of the coolest adventures for the Next. Golden Seas has a 2.0 update featuring a bunch of bug fixes. If you've already got the game, it's time to update. So cool. I do not have the game. One day, when I can, I will splurge and get this game. Rams updated featuring Frogger. I tried to play Frogger on my Atari 800 the other day, and the little cartridge, and just to prove I'm not a liar, see Frogger? It didn't play, but then I used my trusty, if you see it in the camera, FujiNet, and I was going to play Frogger, but I was in the Fs and instead played Firebug. See how easily I can get detracted? Squirrel! Squirrel! My dogs outside probably just heard me say that, and they're probably going nuts. So Frogger starts with an F. The Rusted Pixels team has updated Rams emulator for the Spectrum Next, now featuring support for our friendly amphibian Frogger. Help the poor batracian cross the road. Is that what a frog is? A batracian? Road for reasons only he understands. It's to get to the other side. It's to find the chicken, because the chicken's on the other side too. From the coming of your next. So very cool. I have not tried this yet, but I do have Rams, and I've played some of the other games. So cool. I'll check that out. Nexsit version 1.0, David Safier and 9-Bit Color present the 1.0 version of their amazing tracker. Nexsit, here's a blurb from David on what's up with the tracker. So if you're into SID chip, SID sound, SID music, any of those things that have SID in it, not SUDs, but SIDs, check it out. It's very cool, and there's a whole paragraph or 3 or 4 on this, and it looks like there's some updates, and you can download it. So check it out, and there's even a video link here. Looks like you can click on the video and quickly see what Nexsit is all about. Cool. Shovel Adventure is fully funded. The charming Shovel Adventure crowdfunding campaign has been fully funded, and it's now headed to the Spectrum Next at full speed. Cool. From back of the original version, the Speccy and Amstrad CPC. That's one thing. I don't own any CPCs, Amstrads. Well, technically, I do own an Amstrad Sinclair Plus 3, even though it's a Sinclair Plus 3, but it's kind of an Amstrad. But it's not an Amstrad, so I don't own any Amstrads. Maybe one day? I don't know. That's just another rabbit hole to fall into, and I don't want to have to tie a plank to my ass and fall into it. Ooh. Tying planks to your ass. Have you ever heard of that? I guarantee you probably haven't, but now you have. Don't ask me what it means. Okay, so very cool. This game looks bitchin', by the way. So anybody that likes wearing a fedora and likes being a little Indiana Jones-ish, check this out. Printing from Wi-Fi. Chris Taylor, is that an L or an I? Wi-Fi? Wolf-Fi? But it is Wi-Fi. It's got a small I, but a big I over here. Chris Taylor has been on a journey in the Spectrum Next development, building tools he might find useful for the community. Looks like he's created a Wi-Fi printer driver. There's a GitHub account that you can go check out. There's a video that shows you how to print with your fracking Next. How cool is that? Through Wi-Fi. I do have a Wi-Fi printer here. I will have to explore this. Not sure what I'll print, but maybe it will come in useful for printing out, say, your basic code because you want a hard copy, because you're like me and you still like hard copies of magazines, of documents, of books. I mean, I like digital, but I prefer paper still, so very cool. Next fan art, Mecha Next. That looks so cool. This is Kevin Phillips. I just played his game, Galacticus. That Kevin Phillips is a busy bloke, isn't he? He's just sitting there at the computer. He's got chains on his arms, chains on his legs, tapping away, coding, making cool games, making cool stuff for our Next. And he's an artist, too. Look at this. This looks pretty cool. Kevin Phillips has been working on some 3D fan art, and he deserves a shout-out. A bit of a drooling from us all. That is so cool. So not only high-res wallpaper. Oh, cool. So I need to grab this because I want a wallpaper for my Linux box behind me, which I call Lunix. Next Racing. Defectu Corp has been busy at work on their next game, Next Racing, documenting the journey on Patreon. If you're curious about how they make games or just want to browse under the hood of the production of Spectrum Next game, look no further. So cool. I was not knowledgeable that there was a Next Racing game. It looks kind of basic. It looks like a fun, basic game. I love games that don't have to go out of the realm of being pixel perfect, being representative of a real human face. It's just pixels, and this looks like a fun little game that has cars. Cool. I'll check it out. Oliver Frey passing. Yes. I did a video recently on this. Very sad. I'm not going to cry this time around. I'm going to stay sturdy here. But yes, if you ever gazed in awe at the cover of Crash or Zap 64 mag, you were likely admiring the work of Oliver Frey. And wasn't familiar with Oliver up until 5 years ago, when I started exploring the world of Speccy. And so Crash Magazine, so this is a little note, the passing of a wonderful artist. So Oliver passed away. Oh, holy, that's me. And yes, I still look sad. So it looks like he is linked to, how nice, of the video that I just did. So Oliver passed away earlier this month at the age of 74. Not long enough. You know, I think many of us would love to live into our at least 80s. 90s would be wonderful. Hundreds? I mean, I don't know. But life is interesting. Maybe the next step after this life is even more interesting. I don't know. But he lived to 74. And it says TJ Ferrer has a dedication video up on YouTube with his take on Frey's work represented a worthy watch of memoriam. That's a hard word for me. Of an exceptional artist whose creations will carry on, living on our walls, collections, and hearts. So there's a link to my video that I did. If you're already a subscriber to my channel, you may have seen this already. And so, bye, Oliver. You're in our thoughts, continued forever. Every time we look at any art, at least for me, I think of you. And that's it for this update. So all is updated, folks. Stay tuned for the next one. So Mr. Henrique has been slamming out update after update recently, even if we still got to wait to Q3 2023. We kind of knew that. Anyway, hopefully you like this little journey for the next update. This was number 21, Speccy Next Kickstarter update 2. So thanks for watching the video. Looking forward to the next one. Maybe the next one will be, we're going to get the FPGAs a little faster. It's going to be Q2 2023. Wouldn't that be cool? Anyway, thanks for watching the video. It's Sunday, almost back to work day. Have a good day tomorrow, folks. Back to work on a Monday. Bye.